What is up, guys? Justin here with part 2 of our Midwest Gaming Classic 2017 mini-series, I guess you could call it. Part 1 was everything that we bought on the drive down to the convention, and this is going to be everything that we bought at the convention itself, along with a few other miscellaneous purchases, and of course I'll show some footage of what the vendor hall looked like this year, and just give my final thoughts on the weekend as a whole. But what I wanted to start out with was showing that Craigslist deal that I picked up on the drive down in a little more detail. I showed everything real briefly in part 1, but I don't think I really did it justice because this really was the highlight of the drive down. Basically, it was just a prearranged Craigslist deal that I picked up while we were on the way down to MGC, and it ended up being a pretty sweet deal. So let's get into what I got. Originally it was a DS Lite / GBA bundle. So I got a silver DS Lite system here, complete in the box, in really nice shape. Everything's in here, like the system is still in like the foam pouch. All the booklets and everything are still in their baggies and stuff, and the box is in really nice shape. And then that came with a few games. We got Unwound Future, Chrono Trigger. This one's complete, nice shape. I think Ryan has his eye on this one though. I already do have it for my collection, but I just wanted to hang on to it so I could show it in a video, but I think he's going to end up with that one. And then a loose copy of Brain Age 2. And there was a couple Game Boy Advance games with this as well. A complete and really nice shape Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. And then the highlight of the deal, for sure, and the reason I really wanted this, was a beautiful copy of Fire Emblem. This is complete. Everything in there is in super nice shape. So I paid $70 for that bundle there, which I think this alone goes for about that. So that's what made it a really good deal to start with. Now, he also had a PSP that he was looking to sell. He was asking like $120 for it originally. I would never have been able to come near that price, but the morning of, when I was driving down to pick the stuff up, he asked me again if I was interested in it, and I offered him $60, and he's like, yeah, you can have it for $60 since I was buying the rest of the stuff. So I also ended up with a boxed PSP 1000. This isn't in great shape. The box and everything is nice, but the system has a few cosmetic issues with it, so I'll have to test that out. But it came with a stack of games as well. The only loose one was Dissidia, Final Fantasy. There was Twisted Metal Head On, Metal Gear Solid, Portable Ops Plus, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. One looks pretty quirky. I've never heard of that one before. Final Fantasy IV, Complete Collection. Another Dissidia Final Fantasy, unless this is just an empty case. No, it's in there. So I got 2 of those. And then finally Loco Roco. So I got everything I just showed for $130, which was like half the cash that I originally brought with me. I was only expecting to spend $70 on that DS Lite and Game Boy bundle, but that ended up being totally worth it. I'm glad the guy he held it for me for like 2.5 weeks since I told him I wasn't going to be through his area, and so I gave him his full asking price of the original $70, and then kind of talked him down on the PSP a little. But I just wanted to make sure I got to show that deal in a little more detail, just because it was a really good deal. But let's move on now to some footage of the vendor hall, and then I'll show you guys what we ended up grabbing. So this booth here is where we got the majority of our pickups from the vendor hall. It was kind of insane, actually. It was a local Milwaukee store, I believe, and they brought all of their overstock inventory to the show to sell. So they had, 100, 200, maybe 300 systems there, along with thousands of games that they were just selling dirt cheap. Given they were all like as-is, untested, pretty beat up kind of thing. But they were charging $5 a system. As you saw, they had PS1s, PS2s, PS3s, Xbox 360s, original Xboxes. I saw some GameCubes, some handheld stuff. And then they just had tubs and tubs and tubs of games that they were selling for $1 each. So we spent some time at this booth digging through the stuff. I ended up picking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 PS2 Slim systems here for $5 each. So is that $45? One of them being a white one. So I don't know that some of those are kind of beat up. I don't know that I'm going to test them all and whatever. I just kind of bought those thinking that I'd be able to sell them and get at least my gas money paid for down to the convention, maybe a little bit more. And then also we spent probably half hour, 45 minutes just digging through their bins of games. So everything I'm about to show, we paid $1 each for. So I'm just going to start rifling through these here. Of course there's nothing too phenomenal, but I mean some of these for $1 each was pretty insane. Compared to other people selling the same games at the convention. Some of these I'm sure would have been 10, 15 bucks. But let's get into this here. For the GameCube we got Flushed Away, Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, copy of Borderlands 2 for the 360, Skyrim for the 360, we got a Madden 2002, for the Wii we got The Blob, Family Game Night 2, Mary-Kate and Ashley Sweet 16 License to Drive for the GameCube, Red Dead Redemption, a couple of Resident Evil Code Veronicas for the PS2, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind for the original Xbox, we got Halo 1 and Halo 2. I picked this up because I needed it actually to complete a box set that I have, NFL 94. New Legends for the Xbox, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, another Halo 2, The Incredibles for the GameCube, Bard's Tale, the Xbox, NFL Street GameCube, Home Run King. We got Final Fantasy X2, 10-2, Call of Duty Black Ops for the PS3, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, GTA 3, Fable, Vice City, Halo 3, another Halo 2, and another Borderlands 2. For the N64, we got Rugrats Scavenger Hunt, a couple long box PS1 games, NHL Face Off, The Need for Speed, and then Star Wars Episode 3 for the Xbox. Last stack of them here. Some of these PS1 games were pretty good for $1. Final Fantasy 9. 2 copies of Metal Gear Solid, the X-Files, Monopoly, and for the TurboGrafx we got Power Golf, and then finally 2 N64 memory cards. So I think Ryan held on to some of these already. I'll show Ryan's pickups briefly at the end of the video. But we spent another $45 on games, I think. So $1 each, 45 games. I said some of those for $1 were pretty good. And then let's move on here to some N64 games that I picked up. So before we went down to the convention, the day or two before, I had went through and re-inventoried all of my N64 games and printed out a spreadsheet with all the ones I have and the ones I still needed, just so I had like an easy reference guide, or I could give it to somebody and say, hey, do you have any of these? Because I only needed like 30 more carts to complete my collection, and I ended up getting like 8 or 9 of them at the show for some pretty good deals. And these two were actually my first purchase at the vendor hall. I got Tom and Jerry Fist of Fury and Super Smash Bros. For the N64. And the reason I bought this is because it was only marked for $30, which, given the, label's a little faded and stuff, but it is a working copy. I did test it. And so I bundled it with Tom and Jerry, and I got them both for $35. This was priced at $10. So I saved $5 and I figure I can sell this, get my $35 back, so I'll end up with this one for free. And then there was, I think this actually came from the same booth with all this other stuff for $1. But the rest of these here, I believe, came from one other vendor who gave me a really good deal on them. We got South Park Rally, Jeopardy, Space Invaders, Rocket, Robot on Wheels, NBA Showtime, NBA on NBC, and then Fighter's Destiny. And he sold all of those to me for $25, which I was extremely happy with. I did need them all for my collection, and compared to some of the other vendors and their prices, that was a really good deal, that stack of games there. And then finally, after we kind of left the vendor hall, we went out with shopping to some local stores and stuff with TJ Married Guy Gamer and his sister Sarah. And we didn't buy a whole lot. We stopped at quite a few Goodwills, Upon America, Mega Media Exchange, and maybe like one or two others. And the only things I bought were a copy of Roadsters for the N64. That was from a Media Exchange. I still needed that one. That was $6. And then I also got a copy of Hulk for the GameCube, complete but needs an actual GameCube case. So that was all of my pickups from the convention itself. I don't have Ryan's pickups here to show with me, but I did make sure to snap a picture of his pickups before we left the hotel, just so I could at least show him real quick and talk about him for a minute here, because he got hooked up pretty good by TJ for some of these games here. He got that Wild Arms 2 for the PS1, that Fire Emblem Awakening, and that Metal Slug Anthology from TJ for a super bro price. So he wanted to make sure to say thank you again to TJ for hooking him up with that. And then some of his other pickups there, the Wii U games, Star Fox card, the Shantae box set, and that's a Mighty Number 9 down there, which is brand new. And then a few cheaper games that he grabbed out of those bins there for $1. So just kind of some final thoughts on the weekend as a whole. Of course, it's always a good time. It's always fun. There wasn't as big of a group of YouTubers that went this year, at least compared to the last few years, but it's still always a good time. You know, we were hanging out with TJ, Married Guy Gamer, and his sister Sarah. Scott, Grimsy42, was there with his buddy Brian. They drove all the way from New York again, and so we got to go to lunch with those guys on Saturday. Then Saturday evening, Grimsy was up on a panel with some other people talking about you know, starting a YouTube channel and game hunting in general. And then of course, you know, playing games with everybody, playing Smash Bros. And play some GoldenEye, some Mario Kart, some Snowboard Kids too. And that's really the reason we go down there, is just to kind of hang out and play some games with some people, have some fun. I don't want to say relax, because it's always kind of a hectic weekend with everything going on, but it's always fun. We're definitely looking forward to next year, hoping we can get a bigger group of YouTubers there next year. So thank you guys for sticking around and checking out this video. If you haven't checked out part 1 already, I'll put a link down in the description to that. Lots of good pickups there as well. And I guess I'll end this video with some more footage of the vendor hall and other happenings at MGC 2017. So thank you guys for checking out this video, and until next time, take care.
Thing is so small.
Getting geared up for your panel or what?
I'm excited, guys. It's gonna be great.
I see you still haven't finished your
Too much burger in my gut.
I bet.
My name is Sheldon, and I have a YouTube channel called Retro Game Revival here. Scott, I go by Grimsy42 for no apparent reason on the YouTubes, but can't be you normally. The stalkers are out there, people. So what should we do here? We should just introduce what YouTube really is. It's not like it was years ago, guys.